Makabola bolingo epesa bango sentiment. Ebele bakufa na mokili kaka pona bolingo. Yango na pona bolingo na matosala sena yo. Ata bapasi toko vivre bisengo toko mona.
Join Trezor every weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the nation's favorite radio station, playing the best hip-hop, urban, Afro, and R&B on 99 FM.
99 FM. Be inspired.
In the news tonight, City of Windhoek secures $155 million Namibian loan for new power substation to avoid load shedding.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of News on One. I'm Nason Maringa. In the news tonight, Venani calls for Namcor's boss Mulunga's immediate suspension. Blood transfusion recipients grateful for the gift of life. Nara melon, one of the best climate adaptive crops. And Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports and the weather. The Popular Democratic Movement, PDM President Mekeni Venani has called on the Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises, Ipumbushimi, to suspend the National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia, NAMCOR Managing Director Emmanuel Mulunga over what he described as a mafia-style corporate governance unfolding at the entity. Venani's call follows NAMCOR's board chairperson Jennifer Kumali's arrest on Monday on drug possession charges just before a meeting where Mulunga's possible suspension was to be discussed. This is after Mulunga made an unauthorized $100 million Namibian payment.
Komali was arrested on Monday after drugs worth $57,000 Namibian were allegedly found in her vehicle shortly before NAMCO's board could sit for a meeting regarding Mulunga's alleged payment of $100 million Namibian for 2 oil blocks in Angola. Venani says that his party will soon invoke a motion which will initiate a parliamentary standing committee to investigate and subpoena witnesses to appear before the committee.
There is an allegation that over $69 million worth of oil was sold, resold, and brought back to the company. So what you have is called an insider trading, where there are reserves, and then you sell the reserves today, you make your $10 million profit, you buy back the oil and put it back. Someone who doesn't even have the right to buy the oil was part and parcel of buying the oil. These allegations are out there. That's a mafia style of corporate governance. 2, you are having a chairperson of a board in the name of Mrs. Kumali. The day that she comes to the board to discuss an irregular, unauthorized spending of $100 million that was given to a particular company, the very same day she's charged with drugs in her car. The police officer who goes says, under your car seat, there are drugs. How did the police officer know that the drugs were under the car seat? These are all mafia's kind of power struggles. And therefore, the parliamentary committee, economics committee, must subpoena and start asking these individuals from the board to the minister, to the top CEO, to everybody, what is happening in that institution.
The Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises, Ipumbushimi, wrote to the Namibian Police Inspector General Joseph Shikongo on Tuesday, requesting that a security assessment be conducted regarding Komali's safety. Shimi could not be reached for comment regarding PDM's request. In addition, the Namibian Women Lawyer Association chairperson Ruth Herunga called on relevant authorities in the country to thoroughly investigate the matter and to ensure the safety of corporate leaders. Herunga further called for legislative reform to ensure that corporate victimization becomes a myth.
All board members in this country should exercise their fiduciary responsibilities with the necessary care and skill, and should be able to exercise their discretion unfetteredly. Board members have a legal duty to fulfill their obligations as set out in the relevant legislation, namely the King 4 report and the NAM code, and to act in the best interest of the entity for which they are appointed. Corporate victimization is an act of aggression in an organization by another or group who targets another for the purpose of causing harm to the victim. Harm to the victim includes physical, psychological, reputational, or emotional damage that can last a lifetime. Many of the NWLA members are in positions of leadership and are gatekeepers of good governance, and as a result is at risk of corporate victimization. The Namibian Women Lawyers Association condemns in the strongest possible terms any action that threatens the safety and security of female corporate leaders in the process of discharging their duties.
This Easter at your local OK store, there are eggs and bunnies and savings galore. But what's more, at your OK store, there hangs a golden ticket with your share of $1 million in vouchers, if you can get it. All you need to do to stand a chance to win is buy any participating product and start to imagine. You also save on Bacomo Wheat Bix for a low $49.99. Cross and Blackwell mayonnaise, a bargain at $32.99 each. And 5 Roses tea, only $44.99 per pack. Okay, owners you can count on.
Picked up nicely there by Devin Lacock.
Oh, beats the bat with the next delivery.
Lofty Eaton hits that one over mid-wicket, and it has enough. Up in the air, this one clears, and some less. 6 runs. Great pick. Really well done.
Great deals from Choppies. Choppies, great deals for your money.
Blood transfusion recipients thanked blood donors as well as the Namibian Transfusion Services for saving their lives. The recipients made these remarks during the media and influencer stay at NAM BTS, where they shared their stories and journeys of blood donation.
The gift of blood saved a local woman's life. The story behind blood donation, whether from a stranger or a family member, is one of love. Every day, blood is transfused in hospitals to patients. It is not only used for trauma and road accidents, but also for scheduled operations during childbirth and for patients suffering from various illnesses such as cancer and blood diseases. One such patient who benefited from the blood transfusion program is a 17-year-old Camelia Ndavi who suffers from aplastic anemia, a condition whereby stem cells in the bone marrow do not produce enough blood. Ndavi stated that without blood donation, she would not be alive.
Today I might be sick, tomorrow I'm well, and it depends on my blood cells and how I am. How am I doing? My body has also increased. I like to say thank you to Blood Bank, because every time when I'm in need of platelets and blood, they help me with it. And I also like to say thank you to the people who have donated. Really, without your blood, I could have been standing here. I could have been in the hospital lying.
Similarly, a 14-year-old Aurora Mota, who suffered from sickle cell anemia, stated that her life was saved because of the blood donations, and she's grateful for that. Mota needs blood transfusion at least 6 times a year.
I could go to hospital more often, and sometimes I also miss out on some things at school. Yeah, and sickle cell really affected me, like maybe in a positive way or also in a negative way. Like I'm not like people also like judging me, like I'm shorter than them and so on. So but I really don't mind them. Yeah, I would like to thank the blood donation service of Namibia because they really saved my life. I would like I'll be transfused many times in a year. Like even in a year, I'll be transfused 6 times, and I would really like to thank them a lot.
Some of the blood donors who were present at the event were happy to see that their donations make a difference. The donors had this to say.
You will ask yourself questions, honestly speaking. You'll be asking, other countries, people get compensated for this and you don't, and you incur costs coming here to come and, donate. And, you would want to say, okay, why can't I get compensated? But I've also looked at it and I thought to myself, by donating, actually, it's sort of you are life-saving. You're contributing to the fact that you're giving someone a specific blood component which they don't have.
I would really encourage people to donate, whatever reason it is that you have. Maybe you have family members that are in short of blood, or you really love the cookies, or you just do it with friends. Just donate. It's a good deed. It really is. It really helps somebody that really all odds are not in their favor.
Namibia needs to collect an average of 160 blood donations daily to meet the demand for blood as well as blood products given to patients.
Local communities can domesticate indigenous wild desert crops as a climate change mitigation strategy, such as the Ngara melon. This is due to the plant's high adaptability to arid environments. A biodiversity and evolution professor from Bonn University in Germany shared these findings as part of an ongoing research project on biogeographic plant communities in arid environments at Gobabab Namib Research Institute south of the Quisib River in the Namib Desert.
According to Dietmar Quant, the Ngara melon is one of the best climate adaptive crops because it stores a lot of water in its edible fruits and in its tap roots. Dietmar explained that the indigenous Ngara is more of a tropical crop because of its adaptive characteristics, making it ideal for local communities to survive on the desert melon during challenging climatic periods.
So this is Ngara growing there. And what you can see is that Ngara is really important for local communities. And actually, what we have seen just a few days ago, these populations were just recently, a couple of days ago, harvested by the natural people. So that was one thing to see. And what they can harvest is actually the fruits that you see on the bottom, this nice fruit that is spiny, and there you see an accumulation of the fruits. And the importance are, you can eat the fruit, but you can also do things with the seeds. The seeds are very fantastic and a very nice aroma that you can use. And you can do a lot of things with the plant. But this knowledge is actually not really common, so that's why we call it an orphan crop. But one of the goals could be that we actually promote Ngara to be more important and that we actually can use this as a crop a lot better because Ngara is strongly adapted to a dry environment.
Dietmar highlighted the types of desert melons that share the characteristics of the Ngara, which can also be used by local communities to mitigate harsh climatic conditions.
These are the species we're talking about, some exemplars that we can see. So we have the land grasses on top. You can see these are actually melons that are in the agricultural economies present. And you can see, even though it is the same species, you can see that the variety, the phenotypic variety, is very different.
According to a senior lecturer in food science at the Botswana University of Agriculture and Natural Sciences, Rosemary Lekalake, The ngara melon has medicinal qualities and health benefits that are useful to indigenous communities. Lekalake shared details on value addition experiments done by the university on the ngara melon.
Melon preserves, because we couldn't make it into a jam, it wasn't able to get there, it became very rubbery, so we just ended up making preserves. And then we made some juice with it, which was very, very popular with the people. And then we also made different types of sweets and dried fruits and fruit leathers from the melon. So those are the different products that we made, and these are the ones that I'm saying that we used a lot. When you go to a community and they see these products, they cannot believe that they came from the wild, that you can actually get a wild fruit or seed and produce conventional types of products. So they're very interested.
The value of the ngara melon was part of the discussion on climate change mitigation strategies during the second research program launch of the Southern African Science Service Center Climate Change and Adaptive Land Management in Windhoek last week.
Swipe on it and win! Come bank with us and stand a chance to win the grand prize of an eco-friendly hybrid vehicle or one of 40 fuel vouchers worth $40,000 Namibian.
Full tank, possibly.
To enter, simply make any purchase using your Bank Windhoek Visa debit or credit card between the 1st of October 2022 and the 31st of March 2023. With your Bank Windhoek Visa card in hand, let's journey together with every swipe. Visit bankwindhoek.com.na for more information. Protect yourself against fraud and never share your PIN. T's and C's apply. Bank Windhoek, a member of Capricorn Group.
Take a selfie.
Oh, wait.
Woo! It's a video! We the young are not a complicated bunch. You see, we take each day as a clean slate. Why turn down the volume when you can turn up the vibe? This land wants you to live in the here and now.
The coolest.
There's so much more to see. Come journey with us.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. The First Rand Namibia Foundation has invested $2.8 million over the past 6 months in educational initiatives across the country. The funds are directed towards promoting the provision of high-quality education for all learners. The foundation held an official handover ceremony on Tuesday in Windhoek.
The First Rand Foundation's chairperson, Clara Bohitile, stated that they will remain committed to making a substantial contribution to the communities even as the economy recovers from the downturn experienced globally.
Even as economies recover, the First Rand Foundation has continued to increase our commitment towards youth empowerment through education by availing funds in support to numerous government schools, after-school centers, early childhood development centers, and programs and other education initiatives to make a substantial difference in our communities. One of our main priorities is to promote the provision of high-quality education.
First Lady Monica Gingos, who spoke on behalf of the beneficiaries, said the current challenges facing the education system compromises attaining success. However, Gengos added that it will require collective effort from every individual to achieve the provision of equitable education.
Education is too important to be left to government alone. It's way, way too important. So when we're thinking about free education as a country, there's no free anything. There is still an expectation and a requirement of everybody to put in what they can, particularly parents. And you put in what you can. If it's not money, it's hands. Because school needs hands and help as much as they need money. Academic outcomes are compromised by socioeconomic realities. And that means each and every one of us has a role to play. Take care of your kids. Because what we don't do with our kids, society suffers the consequence. But in addition to taking care of your kids, take care of as many children as you can. Because we can fix classrooms, but we cannot fix broken children. It's even harder to fix broken adults.
The Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, Faustina Kalei, thanked the First Rand Foundation and said that the investment will aid the ministry's efforts to attain goals of providing equitable education.
Under your core focus area, Area 1 on educational and financial literacy, it's very clear that you make deliberate investment in programs to improve management and other skills in education, from early childhood, as you mentioned, development to tertiary in support of Vision 2030. May I take this opportunity to express my appreciation on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture to First Rand Namibia's leadership and staff. We are most grateful to what you have done today.
The First Rand Namibia Foundation is involved in the upliftment of rural schools by supplying teaching equipment and technology across the country, environment guardianship and community support, capacity building, healthcare investment, amongst others.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front.
Great deals from Choppies. Choppies, great deals for your money.
This is the drink Dale had when he tried bonding with his future father-in-law.
I'm gonna go get some wood.
This is Dale finding a cliff. This is Dale's new look. This is Dale finding bees, making his way up a cliff. This is a dart.
Dale?
Welcome to the family, Dale Dobbs, where great stories start. Not for persons under the age of 18.
And now for a look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. The Popular Democratic Movement, PDM Secretary General Manuel Ngaringombe stated that they didn't boycott the Independence Day celebrations held last week Tuesday in Utapi in the Omusati region. Ngaringombe said it's their responsibility as the official opposition and second largest political party to attend national events. Marina wrote, "Don't explain yourself, they don't deserve your explanation." Opuvari reminds the PDM that they still DTA and they've been against Namibia's independence. Fumbili Shange says the PDM seems frustrated at the fact that they might not be the official opposition after the 2024 elections. PK says the PDM was and still is against the country's independence. Lexi wrote, "It's okay if you boycott too." That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to engage in our stories on our social media pages for broadcast on News on One.
Tanzania-born Rini McDonald's beautiful designs are a feast for the eyes, matching color and design in a uniquely African way. A cup of coffee, we travel to Ethiopia to explore the traditional versus the modern way of enjoying this popular beverage. Show artist Adang Chigare as he takes us through his work process. I am Pamela Mtanga and you're watching AfriMax.
And now, let's take a look at some sports news. Mamelodi Sundowns top scorer Peter Shalulile gave the Tafalaga Brave Warriors the lead in the 55th minute against Cameroon during yesterday's game at the Dobsonville Stadium in Johannesburg, South Africa. This is the second time in 4 days that the Namibian footballer based in South Africa had scored for the Brave Warriors against the Indomitable Lions in a back-to-back fixture for the AFCON 2023 qualifiers.
Peter Shalulile opened his second goal account after the first match on Friday against Cameroon. Tuesday's goal sends Namibia on their way to an outstanding 2-1 victory over Cameroon in the AFCON 2023 qualifiers in South Africa. This victory confirms Namibia's place at the AFCON next year after topping Group C with 5 points in 3 matches. After the match, the captain of the Tafalaga Brave Warriors, Shalulile, explained that drawing against Cameroon in the first and second leg was not a walk in the park as the coaches had sleepless nights of planning before the 2 back-to-back matches.
We always say, spot on from the coaches. It was not easy. They had sleepless nights, watching this team, videos and all that. But we picked up, that's why I'm saying credit goes to them. Because they taught us a lot of things in terms of how the game will be, how we should approach the game, and also to my boys, to the team, I'd like to say thank you to them and the South African game.
Head coach Colin Benjamin stated that the players and the team at large was well structured as players showed determination to beat Cameroon.
Boys, they gave their all, they did the work over these 2 legs, and for that I thank them, and we're just proud of them. And I think this game we also started very well. We had our organization, our structure, we didn't let any chances go through, and through the tenacity basically of our boys, our players, and the determination, we could get into the lead. We got the second one. I think there was also chances that we could go into a third one as well. And then obviously they could come back and then get the second goal. But all in all, I think it was a good one, and we kept it close in the sense that they didn't have as many chances, and for that we're really proud of our boys.
The Brave Warriors will be making their 4th appearance at the AFCON Continental Showpiece, having been ousted in the group stage in 2019 after losing all 3 of their group stage games.
That's all the sports news we had for you. Please stay tuned for the weather forecast.